This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group, your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, we are fortunate enough to have a guest, Tejinder Singh. Welcome to our show, Mr. Singh, and thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I've been on the road less traveled, joining IIT Kharagpur, and then before the finishing line, dropping out or getting kicked out, whichever way you put it, and then becoming a journalist, and then falling in love with the niece of the Greek Prime Minister, moving to Europe, 20 plus years in Europe, 6 years before I came here. Europe, I worked with BBC, I worked with Flemish televisions, I worked with Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, I worked with All India Radio there. I came here, started working with Aaj Tak and Headlines Today.
Okay.
And then last year I shifted to Times Now.
So you work for Times Now?
Yeah, and we have our own media group.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you a question, and you're a journalist in the United States and also a journalist in India. What's the difference being a journalist in the United States and India?
In the United States, most of the things are quite clear, and in India, it's very murky waters.
Murky waters?
Yes, and because I have more experience in Europe, and in Europe, the journalists are given a lot more freedom and facilities. Like in Brussels, with the EU press card, in all over Belgium, the trains are free.
Okay.
24 hours parking is available at the airport. And here also we are working, like we have a White House Correspondents Association, we have a Pentagon Association, we have a State Department Association, and we are working. But one thing that it is really good here is that, and also in Europe, that we have daily press briefings. We have where the government officials can be questioned. They can be asked very straight questions, and it's live. While in India,
so you cannot ask the question of the Prime Minister.
That reminds me that it was in Marseille in France, I'm forgetting the year, 2008 or 7, when we had the EU-India summit in Marseille in France.
Right.
And there was Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, President of the European Commission Barroso, and French President Sarkozy.
Right.
And that time there was this headgear problem was starting.
Right.
And I asked Prime Minister Manmohan Singh about that. He's wearing a turban, standing next to Sarkozy, and why has he asked him about the problem? And I asked the Barroso
about the hijab.
Hijab and turban.
On the turban, both.
Both.
And he did
Sikhs were asked to remove their turbans to take the picture for the.
Oh my gosh.
And the hijab. So Manmohan Singh never opened his mouth. President Sarkozy, gave a long explanation to me that, so my headline was Sikhs are welcome, sans turban, to something like that. And after that, whenever Sarkozy will see me, he'll say like this. He'll look at me and smile and put his head like that.
But one of the things I think you alluded in our conversation earlier, not on the TV, but somewhere else, about the journalists or the TV news or anything, or the news organizations in India, there are a lot of people, they're editors, they're the owners, and they have their own agenda, they're guided by their own self-interest.
Yes.
So can you shed some light on that?
You can see it. If you pick up, just pick up one topic and see which way it is going. Is it pro or anti, or which way? Did
they take sides?
I have been a journalist is supposed to report.
Right.
The Greek word for journalist is demosiographos.
Right.
It is made of two words, demos, graphos.
Right.
The one who writes about the government.
Right.
Now, but if you see in India, it is everybody is sitting with an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, or they become the judges.
So they basically give their opinion.
Yeah.
And which is now they're supposed to do as a journalist.
As a journalist, you're supposed to report what you see.
Right.
And let the public decide. We are not supposed to decide what is good or what is bad. It happens here also. Like as I said, the Fox News, if you go, it is pro-conservative. MSNBC will be.
So at least they know where they stand.
Yeah. If you are not a conservative, you don't watch Fox.
Right.
Simple as that.
So that's the difference. Now
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the media group that you lead to, which is called Indian America Today, how big it is, what they do.
No, it is.
It is online, and it is a hard copy
in
or what?
2012, when I realized that this sensationalism of Indian media, I do not want to. So we launched our own media group, and actually we are working. I have meetings in New York later this week, where we are going to make more, and we have a newspaper which is for the moment online, but from next month most probably will
It's going to be a hard copy?
Indian American Times. And then we are working to launch a radio station, podcasting, and maybe a television station with the
In
the
the
government.
United States?
Yeah, here I'm based here. I'm a U.S. citizen now.
And who's going to fund it? How do you get the financial support?
There are a lot of people who are ready to sitting on tons of money, and they want to invest their money. I have some very good friends also.
Okay.
And I am also into movie making nowadays.
Well, I want to talk about your filming. You just went to North Carolina.
Yeah, I was in North Carolina. I was in South Carolina. Actually, in South, I got stuck in the
hurricanes?
In the hurricane, and just we ran away at 70 miles per hour while the hurricane was following at 17 miles per hour. But it's so different.
So tell me a little about this project.
No, in 2013, I went to India. I made 4 documentaries. My good friend Vin Gupta, who's senior than me
I know Vin.
in IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah, I know.
He's 67 batch, I'm 82 batch.
Yeah, I do know
We
him.
are good, and I went and made documentaries on Hillary Clinton School of Nursing, Bill Clinton School, and then I went to our alma mater and I made a documentary on IIT Kharagpur. So
He has given a lot of money to IIT Kharagpur, to George Washington Law School.
yeah. He has made a lot of contributions to the education. Actually, in Hillary Clinton School of Nursing, if you go, it's a completely very backward Muslim community, and the girls are feeling so blessed because they can just walk to the school and back.
So they have been given access to education and opportunity for them to succeed.
It is a great thing. I was very fascinated by
and
their
that's something
reaction.
that's missing in India with regard to being inclusive and giving opportunity to the people who have been left behind.
Yeah,
who have no voice.
Because the people who came from here, and they forget that they got educated by the Indian taxpayers' money.
So if they do well, they need to do good there in India.
It's like Vin's father had once told me that learn, earn, return.
Learn and return. That's a good way to put it.
So but this is another topic for another.
So filming, you did one for the.
And then now, because of my fiance, Gauri, and her sister, both are in the filmmaking, and she's the great granddaughter of Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala.
Okay, Patiala. Oh my gosh.
And granddaughter of Maharaja of Maihar.
Maihar.
And so they are making a film about, because there is so much distortion of history. So I have got together with them, and we are trying to portray. It's called Yadvi. It's in now post-production stage. And then I was traveling.
You're going to air them in India?
It will be released. It has been all filming is finished, and I'm also working on another film for which I was in Carolinas, which we haven't yet talked about. So it is more a US based film.
And it's going to be aired on the TVs?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you talk about the Indian American community not engaged politically, and you're saying that all they want to do is to get a picture, and they don't influence or have impact on the policy. Is this a true statement?
It's so simple. First of all, once you have taken the pledge, because when I took the pledge, with your hand on your heart and to the allegiance to the American flag, in that it says that you have a very good, excellent heritage, but now you are a US citizen.
Right.
So
this is your adopted country.
Yes. So period.
Right.
Now, it is more than one senator and congressman who has told me that Indian American community, including your viewers, are very, 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 very active in politics. But where? On the couch with a glass of scotch in the evening and big debates. They love to get nominated to this title and that title. They are so scared of running for office, getting something. You can be anything excellent in your any field. But
so they don't want to be elected, they want to be appointed.
Yeah. How many people are running? They have, we have the money, we have the
resources,
intelligence, resources, everything. But why? Why we are not running for office?
So you're talking about that's something missing in the community.
There is something missing because you know why we are first on spelling bee contest where the parents tighten the kid. No, how many kids really go to become a spelling bee? If you ask them. I interviewed only one spelling bee winner, and he couldn't answer on the phone anything. He was asking his continuously. His dad was answering, and that was a sad affair.
So your kind of vision is that you believe that the Indian Americans should be running for the offices and get elected.
Yeah.
So that make sure they have a seat on the table.
Yes, they have a seat in decision-making process.
And that's something lacking.
Yes, we make so much fuss about. There was a shooting. There was a. Have we ever looked at how much freedom we have here?
So we don't examine our own behavior.
No, because this is, as you very rightly said, adopted country.
Right.
So why don't we fit into the system? Why do we have to come out, eat those all spicy food and come into the State Department briefing and everywhere it's smelling?
Oh my gosh.
So those basic things.
I want to talk a little bit about two questions to you. Can you shed some light on the U.S.-India relationship and also how the Indian diaspora community can be engaged to take the U.S.-India relationship to the next height, because public-to-public engagement is an important part of the relationship?
You really touched a very interesting point, which actually, if you remember that there was a time when India was like with Russia, like it was in the Russian bloc, the USSR.
Right.
Then came, and like as yesterday the story broke about the CIA leak, the document that they declassified.
So it's about Indira Gandhi?
Yeah, Indira Gandhi had contemplated bombing the nuclear facilities of Pakistan.
Okay.
So now, because and CIA also says that it's also because the US was supplying the defense equipment, including F-16s and all that. So, but slowly, as you see today, the relationship is growing. Yeah, it started with Clinton's, and then
it took it next high. It took this. It took it to the George W. Bush
administration, and Obama has been going, and they have welcomed back Modi after 10 years of no visa. He's coming again this
in
month.
September, right?
He's coming again next year, April, May. So, but there is a slight disconnect if you see these kind of rallies, this kind of what is the follow-up? What is really on ground being? One of the magazines in Europe has put it very nicely that as we all in television say, lights on, everything clear, and then says action. But
there's no action.
There is no action.
There's a lot of talk. They're not matching their words with their deeds.
And one of the
is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely. And one of the American journalists recently said, your prime minister should be called NRI prime minister. I said, why? He said, look at the number of where
trips
all he's
making all
over the world. But what is coming out of it? These crowds, this but where is it? Where is the,
so it's all
the
spectacle?
Common man?
Is it all spectacle? It's all.
I do not know if it is spectacle, what it is, where it is leading to.
Okay.
But definitely there is something missing.
So what do you think of the Prime Minister Modi's styles of government, and what has he accomplished in a year, and what do you think he will accomplish for the next year?
I think that question should be addressed to Prime Minister Modi.
But what's your thoughts?
I am a reporter, a journalist. We are supposed to just watch
so
and report.
What have you seen by watching his action for the last 1 year? Has he been able to make the India as the most business friendly and get rid of the bureaucratic tapes and also the many issues that faces the India for the Americans to do business or foreign countries? Tell me a little bit about it.
You should just try, just take $1,000 and go to India and try doing something. And from the time you land in the airport, that bakshish, that
Corruption.
brown envelope, that,
Oh my goodness.
that petty corruption, like, a policeman stops you, okay, give me 1,000 rupees and you can go, or I'm giving you the challan. How are you going to get rid of that?
So is it ingrained in the...
We were very surprised when I traveled with President Obama earlier this year.
So did I. I was there too.
Michelle Obama was still in her same set of clothing around afternoon, while Prime Minister Modi had changed 3 times.
Oh my.
And remember his suit, which
cost a lot of money.
Now, there is a saying that people who live near the train stations or airports, they are usually poor people.
Right.
But if they get into money, the first thing they do is to travel. And as you know, Prime Minister Modi, as he declares himself, son of a chaiwala at a train station. So,
he was.
So maybe his desire to travel the world is there. You don't know, because governance means you got to sit down and get the things done and get results. It's now going to be more than it's already more than a year.
It's a lot of talk which is hollow and shallow.
You are good with words.
I try my best. Now, obviously, I met Prime Minister Modi, and I think he's a charismatic and disciplined, and he has a desire to take the India to the next height, and he has done Clean India, the Clean Gangas, the smart digital things, and the manufacturing hub. Those are the good initiatives. What he's going to lead, we do not know, but I think those are good initiatives for the Prime, and he's a leader, that's what he needs to do. But the criticism is that the Prime Minister's office, called PMO, basically runs it, and there's not that many people in the office to run that organization. And is that what your observation is?
When I went that time, I came to know that there is a parallel kind of government which is from the party so every minister has a shadow, like the British has an opposition shadow.
Yeah, that's
Here
exactly.
There is a shadow shadowing the what is he or she is doing.
Oh.
So no minister has with one hand tied behind.
Yeah.
They are working. That's what.
So they have the responsibility but no authority.
Looks like, because no minister can take a decision if it's a major decision. The Modi has to okay.
The Prime Minister office has to approve it. And that's obviously become a roadblock for them in terms of the economic growth and changing the political landscape.
Yeah, and if you see that what is this going on, following him, I think the MP Chief Minister came, now the Haryana Chief Minister was here.
Yes.
With 32 member delegation, 10 to 12 days.
What did they accomplish?
Yeah, there are a lot of press releases. Every morning we woke up, we had 3-4 press releases into our mailbox. But what is it? Where is the follow-up? Where is the what?
Is that what's missing? What about Arun Jaitley was here not too long ago also?
Yeah,
the finance minister.
Yeah, and that time he refused to answer my question about the other Modi, the Lalit Modi, and
the one which is lower in
11 crore rupees. He said, "Oh, it's so long ago." Oh, okay. So and how many people they have prosecuted till now for corruption, for anything?
None.
So
that tells you.
So just show me the results. I am not a critic. I am not a admirer.
You're trying to make India a better place to do business,
yes.
and because you have a shared interest.
Yeah.
And you're not complaining and criticizing. Basically, you're giving your suggestion is to make it better. Let's work together. We have a shared goal and shared responsibility.
And he should remember that he is no more the Chief Minister of Gujarat.
He's the Prime Minister of all the people.
Of India.
Of all the people.
All the people.
Regardless of caste, creed, and religion. I want to
good.
talk about the fact that President Obama talked about the freedom of faith in India. Do you believe that India does not embrace proudly and truly the democracy, diversity of that nation?
It's again depends on to whom you talk to, but if you really
it's not an inclusive society.
If you go there,
yes,
go to a southern state and see the differences between the lower caste, upper caste.
Our
Go
Muslims are
anywhere.
Yeah.
And as a Muslim,
Yeah.
you know that in case there is and most of these riots are not because of people,
Yeah.
it's because of politicized.
Okay. That's what.
Yes,
okay.
in 2013
So
when
they-
I was
they're
going
kind of
to
dividing.
Saharan,
They're
I was-
dividing.
Yeah, it's a divide.
It is in their personal
It's
interest
all
to do
about
so.
vote bank and all that.
Which is a very sad story. But the democracy and diversity, that has been the beacon, that has been the shining example of India's secularism for a long, long time.
Yes.
And they need to embrace that and give the letters opportunity for all the people to succeed. If they succeed, we succeed, India succeeds, and the world succeeds. Correct?
Definitely.
We must change the landscape of that part of the world.
From talking the talk, we should walk the walk.
Walk the walk. Very well said.
It's simple as that.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts,
Thank you very
sharing your
much.
vision,
Thank
and
you for
sharing
having me
with our
here.
audience. And you're most welcome. And this is Frank Islam wishing you a great week. Thank you for watching.